You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Y'all, we back in the building. We are back in the building. All right. Now y'all can see I'm not in my regular studio. So we making it do what it do on the go. Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chatterization. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And your comments will be posted on the screen. So just FYI, if you say something crazy, then you will be ejected faster than Phaedra could leave Florida from the Married to Medicine trip with her young boo. Okay. Skid marks on your booty. Okay. That's how fast you will be ejected. All right. Great. You guys can hear me. Okay. What's going on, y'all? Morning to the chat. Morning to the chat, y'all. Well, it's about to be afternoon, depending on where you at, right? So let's get this thing started. All right. Let's get this jam board restarted. As you guys can see, the Phaedra face is back. You know, sometimes you gotta take it back, forth and forth. You know, this is what we gotta do, you know. And let us know where you're watching from in the chat. You know what I mean? Let us know. We got St. Kitts in the building. That's what I'm talking about. That's where I need to be right now. Let me look up. Let me see if I can get down to St. Kitts. Okay. Yeah, you gotta let them know. Skid marks. Reality Grizzly. Okay. Skid marks. Got people from all. Listen, we worldwide up in here. Worldwide. Okay. All right. France in the building. I see y'all. Okay. Y'all. This is the link up. I don't know if anybody saw coming, but we got Ralph and Mendices linking up. What they cooking up over here? What they got going on? Neighborhood Talk posted this and they said, not Ralph and Mendices linking up. We about to get a crossover podcast live from the basement, reporting to you live from the basement. Actually, they look like they out the basement. Okay. They getting it in. Wonder what they talking about. Ooh, probably talking about how to unravel Drew some more. Anyway, that's not really what I wanted to talk to y'all about this morning. We got to talk about this, baby. Shout out to my source for sending me this morning. Woo. When I tell you, K. Michelle lit Tamar all the way up. Okay? Lit her all the way on fire. Okay? In this interview with Cam Newton. Not only did she yet again call Tamar a Muppet, because see, basically what Cam asked was this. He asked, do the ladies beef as much as the men do in music? And she said, yeah, I got a couple of them. But basically, she was like, "Yeah, the Muppet is still talking." Now, I ain't calling that lady a Muppet. I love me some Tamar, but I love me some K Michelle. Okay, so let us know whose team you are. Are you team K Michelle or are you team Tamar? Let us know in the chat. Okay. So she goes on to talk about how not only apparently after Beyonce sent K Michelle some flowers or something to that effect, Tamar has been like allegedly running behind the scenes trying to stop K Michelle's bag, like telling people not to book her for shows and all of this, whatnot, and whoop de whoop. She says that when she was on Love and Hip Hop and she told her story, she says she did not say any names. And there was this Muppet behind the scenes, steady yapping, okay? Steady yapping about her. And so as a result, they got beef. Now, she says in this interview, I will play clips from it, but they're really starting to crack down on playing small bits of YouTube clips. So I just don't even want to risk it right now. So I'm kind of having to give you guys the tea about it like secondhand. But when you watch the interview for yourself, and I would definitely tell you, especially if you're a K Michelle fan, if you're a K Michelle fan, you definitely want to tap into this interview, right? Because she's gonna give what needs to be given. She's been getting me, and she talked about, again, like I said, her time on Love and Hip Hop as well. She doesn't shy away from that. She also goes into talking about how Tamar is really mad, allegedly. She takes a jab at Tamar's edges. She says Tamar's mad because she ain't got no edges. She says that Tamar is also mad because her sister is the bigger star. She's also mad at K Michelle because the man that she is in love with wants wants K Michelle. So I don't know who the man is that she's in love with, but K Michelle lets it be known that that person is allegedly in love with her. So whoever Tamar is in love with, that person allegedly wants K Michelle. Okay. So she completely, like I said, she goes all the way in. And when Cam is like, okay, so listen, if she claps back at you, what you gonna do? And K Michelle is basically like this. You can't tell me you from the South and you about to sit here and let somebody continue to poke and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke at you, and you don't say nothing back to them, right? So I don't know if Tamar's seen this yet because the interview just came out 19 hours ago. But what I do know is that she might likely have a meltdown over this one. I mean, listen, like I said, she went in, okay? She went all the way in. So I just feel like this is about to spark another whole other situation. And it's funny to me because I'm trying to understand, go back when I think back on the claims that Tamar has made about Candy. It's interesting to me that to hear these claims from K Michelle about Tamar allegedly trying to stop her bag as well. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Okay. So I don't know where this is going to lead, but I'm just letting y'all know that the situation is probably about to pop off. And if you see it, this is probably the reason why. Okay. This is probably the reason why. Yeah. She probably about to have a meltdown. And 5, 4, 3, 2, boom. Listen, she about to melt down faster than Phaedra could fly out of Florida. Period. Okay? Faster than Phaedra could hop a flight with her boy Toy to run away from them married to medicine ladies. Okay? Um, that's a good question. It does always seem to be like an R and beef, right? An R and B beef. So I don't know. That's such an interesting question. Well, no, no, not just singers, because the last person that she, talked about, we ended up with this, you know, big back Cadillac that the people are upset about. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think she just got it's just certain people she just can't get in, like she just can't they can't ever just get it together. I don't know. I don't know. So it's hard to really understand and really break down behind the scenes, like music business wise, because to be honest with you, when I think about the way the music industry works, shouldn't your management team be handling all the bookings? Right? That's how I think about these things. So, as a singer, you should never be talking to promoters, telling them who not to book. I don't even feel like as the singer, you shouldn't even need to talk to the promoters, to be honest with you, unless you just got these like a good relationship with them prior to. But to be telling somebody else not to book somebody else, that's crazy to me. Because in my mind, you should be so busy with your own bookings that you ain't got no time to be thinking about nobody else and their bookings. That's at least how I think about things. Like I'm not really worried about what anybody else in my industry is doing, other than when I see it, I'm giving them a hand clap of praise, right? Because I know how this business is and I know how hard it is. So I always think when I hear stuff like this, just coming from the entertainment industry, it's like, why would you ever tell somebody else like not to book somebody? That's crazy to me. That's some crazy insecure behavior. And I hate to call it that because that's exactly what it is. And you know what? That could be the case. That could be the case. Maybe their booking agents are telling them these stories. But for me, if I'm if I'm the management team, I don't even know, right? I guess I have a different frame of mind when it comes to the entertainment industry. Like for me, when I take L's behind the scene, I don't really run to the internet to talk about them. I just don't. Like it is what it is. It comes with every job. You're gonna take some L's, especially in the entertainment industry. Because if you run around calling out people and doing all of these things like that, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. But it's you sometimes when you do stuff like that, you make it harder for yourself to get future bookings because you're so busy trying to call out people for different things. And it's like, I don't have time for it. Like, you take the L and you keep it moving. But maybe I'm a little bit old school when it comes to that, you know? So, in my mind, it's just crazy to think that it's really people out there who are saying, don't book this person, don't put them on this show. Like, that's wild to me. That's crazy. Yeah, it's like, why we like, you wouldn't even like, you would never hear it from me. It might be something that you talk about with your team or with like your close people, but it ain't something I would ever really go out and be like, oh my God, let me tell y'all what happened with this promoter. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Because the other thing is things always turn back around, right? because what will happen is somebody will annoy you one day and then you might have to end up working with them a year down the street. So you always just kind of want to make sure that you keep your relationships copacetic and don't take nothing personally in this business. If you start taking things personally, then you are basically on a sinking ship. You got a slow leak. And let me tell you something, that slow leak will sink your ship every single time. So don't take nothing in this industry personally, period. Yeah, this is big back Cadillac news. I mean, come on now, we can't get rid of it. You know what I mean? What's going on, Anitra? How you been? Thank you for tuning in, tapping in, and getting turned on to the T today, baby. To the T today. So listen, make sure you guys check out the K Michelle and Cam Newton interview on his YouTube channel. I need to finish watching it, but from what I saw, it looks absolutely amazing. Also want to shout out um I want to shout out, give me 1 second, y'all. I want to shout out the page Dre De Law 1 on Instagram. I'll put the link in the description, who pulled out this excerpt from the interview and posted it online. So shout out to Dre De Law 1. Okay. It definitely will take a U-turn. It is enough money out there for everybody. It sure is. It sure is. Some people on the way up, you may need them when you're going down one day. Yo, I'm telling y'all, it's so many times with so many different projects that I've worked on that you you be like a production company, I remember just from my time in LA didn't pay, actually two didn't pay for like a lot of work that had been done. And you know what? Again, you just kind of take the L and you just keep it moving, because it would take you more energy to call these people out than it would to take you to go get another booking. Period. Period. So you can either spin your wheels, mad and upset, um, or you can pull your britches up, pull your bootstraps up, and get back to work. Yeah, it don't pay the bills. At the end of the day, it's not gonna pay the bills. You being angry and stuff like that, you like having that type of mentality, it's just not going to work. Yeah, it's crazy. You gotta rein that in. And I'm not saying that that's Tamar's problem. I'm not saying that. Um, I get it, Ashley. I'm telling you, I totally get it. And you are absolutely correct in your assessment. And I think that in those moments, you got to do what you feel is best to do for you, right? But is the juice worth the squeeze? So you have to ask yourself, is it worth me hiring an attorney, trying to, litigate my way back into $1,000 or more, right? When my personal belief for myself is that I can go out and make another $1,000 like that, and it would take less time to make another $1,000 than it would take for me to get online, call somebody out, or hire an attorney. It just depends on what it is. You gotta do your due diligence and figure out, is the juice worth the squeeze? And you gotta understand when that is and when it's not happening, right? Queen Paradise, thank you for the super chat. Says, God bless you. Thank you for being a beautiful blessing. I appreciate it, man. I really, really do. I really, really do. I appreciate that. So that's going on with that. I want to talk to you guys about, now we had some news obviously breaking yesterday with this whole traders situation. There have been a um there have been a cast leak, but I like to kind of like figure out, all right, what's really going on first, right? And now we can really talk about it. So give me 1 second, y'all. Let me pull it up. Okay. Porsha Williams, Candiace Dillard Bassett joining season 4 of The Traitors. Let's talk about the full cast list. We got Dorinda Medley from The Real Housewives. We got Natalie from Amazing Race. Tiffany from Big Brother. Porsha from Housewives of Atlanta. Lisa Rinna. Y'all know I'm blocked by Lisa Rinna, by the way. Lisa Rinna blocked me on the ground. I swear. I'm like, what I do? What I say? Anyway, Candiace Dillard Bassett, obviously. We got Caroline Stanberry from Ladies of London and the Real Housewives of Dubai. We've got Maura from Love Island. Donna, who is Travis and Jason Kelsey's mom. Kristen from Top Chef. Tara, who is an Olympic figure skater. And then Monet from Drag Race. We got 2 guys from Survivor, some people from Big Brother, Love Island folks, Bachelor Nation folks, an actor from One Tree Hill, Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars, Ron, comedian, Eric, singer, Johnny, who is an Olympic figure skater as well, and then Michael Rappaport. I think that the Michael Rappaport and Housewives mix is going to be very interesting because he, on his podcast, he's very much like, he talks a lot about Housewives, right? And when he talks a lot of smack, right? Like he talks a lot of ish. Y'all remember that one time Kenya had to get him together on Watch What Happens Live? So I wouldn't be surprised if a Candiace or a Dorinda, well, he probably cool with Dorinda, but I could definitely see Candiace laying him flat. Okay. I can definitely see that happening. What I'm actually glad about is, personally speaking, I kind of feel like, number one, the Housewives, when y'all go on this show this season, y'all either need to come in with a united front or y'all need to take y'all aim at these Survivor and Big Brother people immediately. Because those Survivor and Big Brother people are I swear to you, they are going to target the Housewives first. That's exactly how Dorinda got out of there last time. Lightning fast. Okay. Lightning fast. She was out. Pew! She was out faster than Phaedra. Okay. Well, not on Traders, but on Married to Medicine. So it'll be interesting to see all of these people in the mix. And the tea is that allegedly Nene was offered the Traders and they weren't going to pay her enough. I don't know if that's true or not. We have to say allegedly, but that's what the streets are saying. And so they swooped in Porsha for Nene. I mean, I guess if you can't get Nene, I mean, Porsha's a good close second, maybe. I mean, you've already had Phaedra. I mean, with Kenya and the things going on with her, that's kind of like a wash with that. Um, I'm just trying to think of some other people that would be as good as a Nene on this show. And I think that probably Porsha is probably the next best person. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all better get these Big Brother people out of that house nice and quick. Like they better like run through them. Because otherwise, them brother people and the Survivor people, they are going to try to tear those housewives up. Yeah. The mindset is different. The mindset is completely different. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That should be interesting. I'm excited about it though. I'm generally excited about traders. I think it's fascinating to me. And again, it'll be interesting to see Michael Rappaport on there, who is somebody who openly talks about housewives or something. To me, putting him on there is literally the same as like putting, any of us that talk about housewives on that show along with the housewives. That's going to be really, really interesting. Well, Sheree already did it. Sheree did it, and she was kind of forgettable on that show to me, to be honest with you. She was, I mean, I don't know. She was just forgettable to me. Like she always looks great, but I don't know. I don't know. And I also think too now is a better time for Candiace because she can do this and she don't really have to probably be away from the baby that much. And it's not like she just had the baby. She's had about a year now. So she can kind of really, I think she can really throw herself into this and have fun with it and not be, stressed out. Yeah, she was quiet as a mouse. I was like, what to get on? Totally missed the assignment. Totally missed it. Totally missed it. All right. Mhm. Now, this last bit of tea that we're going to talk to you guys about is really not new tea. Um, but you know, we know that Monique is heading back to Housewives. So she basically talks about that she's returning as a friend and that she had declined previous offers to come back to the show due to fear and PTSD. She basically says that she's a different person at this point and she's excited to test how different she actually is by doing this show as a friend. Um my stance on this is my real response is be careful. That's it. Be careful because at the end of the day, when you go back to a show like this, I personally felt like she went out on top. Um, and I do think that the producers knew her value, and I do know that they wanted her back. But I also look at this from a mental like standpoint of like you don't control the outcome of what happens on this platform and you just want to be mindful that you're not setting yourself up to have the same thing happen to you again. So if you go into it with the mindset that this is all a game, then I think that she can maybe excel at it. And if she has a similar type of role that Cynthia has on Atlanta, then you're not really being utilized as a plot point. But the moment that you start being utilized as a plot point, that's the moment that you need to realize that you either probably need to negotiate for a full-time role next season or back out of it altogether. Because here's the thing, the friend is really supposed to be a supporting role. And I feel like personally, when you went out and you left the show, I feel like you leave on a high note, right? It's kind of like the people from Seinfeld. They left while they were at their height. And so I feel like when you come back, you kind of leave the door open for them to play around with you. So from just a person who knows her perspective, I just want her to be very careful and mindful about this particular environment because it's not always conducive for peace and mental safety. Personally, that's my thought. All right. And this is, I mean, this is just me being, it's not only somebody who knows her, but just a friend. That's my friend advice. In terms of being a reality TV show viewer, I think it'll be interesting to see how her and Jazelle mix on the same show at this point. But my general sense is that Jazelle, in this new iteration of her, of who she is, I think she'll be willing to play ball with Monique because I think she knows that they're missing Karen. Mia's gone. There's no Candiace there. There's no Robin. She's going to have to mix it up with the ladies. You see, she's getting along well with Wendy now. So clearly, in my opinion, something happened behind the scenes that was like, y'all need to bring this thing back around. Because you see what happened with New Jersey when the girls couldn't get it together. Okay? The girls couldn't get it together with Jersey, and now they on pause, which means that income is on pause. So for me, I just think make sure the ball stays in your court. The moment you become the plot point is the moment that you need to pivot and you need to recognize what's really going on. And then you either need to go back and negotiate more. I mean, because I don't know what it is now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm just saying is like, I'm sure there's a friend salary, which I'm sure is pretty good. And then I'm sure there's the I'm a main character salary. And if they're giving you main character drama, then you need to be getting main character pay. Period. Is it true that Dolores left Real Housewives of New Jersey? No, from what I understand, I just saw an interview with her probably right before I started doing this, right before I got on live. And basically she was saying that, you know, she was hinting that she is potentially going to be a friend of on the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. She says that that was the first place that she went when she ever went out of the state of New Jersey. So it's highly likely that they will be featuring her on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We do know that Andy said that it's heavily based in Italian culture. Um, so I could see it happening. I could see her moving and shaking over there, but I think that they like her. She won the Traders last season, right? I think she won the Traders, right? So I could definitely see. I think the network favors her because I think she's unproblematic. She's going to give you some drama. She's going to react a little bit. She's going to be in the middle of the mix. She's going to tell it like it is. But I think at the end of the day, Dolores is a safe bet, right? If I'm looking to hire talent or cast, if I'm looking to hire people that I can work with, out of everybody on that Jersey cast, I would definitely call Dolores back because she understands the value of we all got to get along in some way, shape, or form. We all got to find a way to make this thing work. We might not all like each other, but at the end of the day, we got to get past whatever we need to get past so we can keep getting this coin. Okay. So when you have somebody that's willing to do that, you bring that person back. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. Right. So and that's also the case too, right? P says I blame production and the network for enabling people like Jazelle, Teresa, and all the faves. You can't have an ensemble cast and breed that level of toxicity because of favoritism. That is exactly right. You can say you can in your mind feel like this is the star of the show, but the moment that you start letting them feel like they're the star of the show, that's the moment that they become a train wreck. And what I mean by that is they become such a problem, and they can end up breeding so much toxicity because they feel like, because they know they're protected by the network, that they can do this, right? And it gets a little bit out of hand. So what always needs to happen is, and I think the thing that I think works well for Jazelle, I think that Jazelle understands. You know what? We got a show to make. I think that Giselle's number one priority has probably always been to make a good show. And in doing so, she's, I feel like at times probably crossed some lines for her castmates, particularly Monique, Candiace, Wendy. And I think that she's, those beefs were so extended that they just made the show feel toxic. And I feel like we saw it happen with all three of those ladies. We predicted it was going to happen the way it happened. The moment we saw it with Monique, we knew it was going to happen to Wendy. The moment we knew it happened to Wendy, we knew it was going to happen to Candiace. And that's exactly, every last one of us called it out. We called it out. We called it out back in season 5. Right at the end of season 5, we said it. Wendy and Candiace, she's coming for you next. And that's exactly what happened. But having said that, I don't dislike Jazelle on the show. I think that she's great for the show, especially now that she's learned how to tone some of that energy down. I feel like this is, yes, now she's back. Now she's back in a sweet spot with like making a good show, right? And I'm sure it's a lot of pressure too, to be honest with you. We got to make some stuff pop, especially this season. Without Karen there, Karen is always the story. We know this. We know this. So it's like either play ball, or get gone. Which you want to do? I don't know about y'all, but at this point, I'm playing ball. I want my check. I want my coins. This house ain't gonna pay for itself. I need to be able to, move and shake like I want to. All I got to do is show up for work and do a little gossip, throw a little shade, dress up, get the makeup done, get the hair done. I mean, that's really all you got to do, and go out to eat and have some drinks with these ladies, and go on a worldwide trip someplace. Like, count me in. Yes, I got you, boo. We could do all of that. I'll give you some good stuff. So that's what I think is happening. And I see a lot of you guys in the chat saying you like Jazelle better without Robin. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. Exhibit C. Right? So I think that when you have now, this Jazelle to me feels more fun. She actually feels lighter and freer. And just like she's at that reunion, she was having a ball at that reunion. That's where I want her to stay at. We can have somebody, if we can have her in that space, and to know Monique also is to know that she is really genuinely a peaceful spirit. She is. I mean, she could throw a little shade. She can have a little fun. She likes to laugh. She likes to talk. I mean, just because I know her, I mean, she's a good time. Um, I think if this version of her comes in and this version of Jazelle is there, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. But anyway, y'all, that's the tea that we got for y'all on this good Saturday. Thank you for tuning in and tapping in. I really, really appreciate y'all. Even when I'm on the go, y'all manage to show up, and I just, man, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. Um, Thank you for tuning in to Big Back Cadillac News. I'm sure we'll have some things popping off within the next day or two, some people having some meltdowns. So we'll be able to talk about that as it happens. But maybe there will be no meltdowns. Who knows? You know, people are evolving and growing, healing and thriving. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Healing and thriving. Okay. So with that being said, make sure you guys like this video if you haven't already liked it. Make sure you guys comment down below, you know, what you think about these situations. Are you team Tamar? Are you team K Michelle? Are you excited about Traders? Did they make the right cast? Would you think that Portia's a good replacement for Nene if that's what happened? Let us know in the chat. We want to know. Um, and hashtag Big Back Cadillac. Okay. All right, y'all. With that being said, I will speak with you guys in the next video.